Hey man, say man, it's the one and only Jamaican man with ism, brought to you by HoopSpaces, and we bring to you PDX Business. Hey man, say man, it's the one and only Jamaican man back at it again, my friend, with season 2. You guessed it and you knew, of PDX Business, brought to you by HoopSpaces. First and foremost, we thank you, HoopSpaces, for allowing us to not only be a part of this platform, but also congratulate you on stepping up from AMP to playback, where there's a visual representation of what you get every day for, man, 5 hours at least, maybe 8 sometimes, of straight hoops. You feel me? And, I wouldn't believe in a brand if the brand didn't believe in me. And I thank you for not only this episode, but the last season, where I could bring X's and O's to fruition and, with permission, allow for those things to fit into the narratives that you kind of like will be missing when people try to be superlative. And, that was my mantra. This time around, my slogan this year, outside of the ism, it's in you, not on you, or PDX Business in general, is I've never met another him. So if you or he or she are doing what you're doing, you don't necessarily have to always scream what you are. They just know. And I know for a fact that your viewership and HoopSpaces, the platform, that opportunity, allowed for people to really see what I had in this basketball game. As far as Portland's concerned, and Dane, first and foremost, we thank you for 12 years of your service to us, building not only what time it was in Dame time, but revitalizing the brand that was very dormant since LaMarcus left, which will happen to be your rookie season. From that time, we did the best with what we had, minus the front office neglecting certain positions at one time for financial insecurities, to not really put a team around Dame. But what they end up doing is trading CJ, then trading Dame, to put us in a position to have 3 different types of players on the roster. You have newbies, if you will, that are new to the league and are exciting. You have those young vets like Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton that still have to show the league exactly how dominant they are, what we know of them to do. And then you have the guys that you paid, like Jeremiah Grant as well, or you brought in a Robert Williams, guys that don't necessarily fit in with a Scoot Henderson nowadays, or Shaden Sharp tandem. But they're here, and they had to be here because business allowed for us to not only appreciate Dane's 12 years of service, but banking on the value, literally, that he provided by being Portland, and arguably the best Portland Trailblazer ever, to be able to get a return that included DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, who is very valuable. The 3rd pick, which came out to Scoot Henderson, that follows up with the 7th pick, if you will. Man, it's heavy. To Miami, JFK, if you're hearing this, brother, I would like to dialogue more so on that with our first game, if you will, that we play against each other, to really dive into it. I don't think I could touch on it, but I feel like Joe Cronin stuck to his guns and didn't allow for anybody to move him. They had to move when he was ready, having the most valuable asset and everything. So thank you, Joe Cronin. I don't agree with every decision you have made. I haven't agreed with every decision Mrs. Allen has conducted, but we're here. And nothing is bigger than PDX Business. At UOP, yeah, you know me, you can find, my directness of the situation. Nevertheless, the things that I noticed about this game, well, we were building, so I didn't expect to win the game. The bright spots were the forwards. Unfortunately, Jabari Walker won't necessarily get much minutes right now with the way the roster is constructed, and I feel like he is the person that's getting hurt the most. I'm not sure if they can take any minutes from the Ant Simons injury, because I believe in this game he hurt his thumb and he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Jeremiah Grant, I don't feel his contribution to the team without someone that can space the floor to allow for his mid-range takes to truly work. Anthony Simons is a very good player, but even less than I feel like Damian was with us, and it will be shown with Milwaukee. Thank you very much, Milwaukee, for doing business with us. That he's not necessarily a number one option, and he doesn't lead in a way that a Giannis would lead his troops, if you will. But he's a very, very talented player. Ant Simons is even less of that. Very, very streaky and talented player. But I don't expect for him to be the guy that we rally behind to really build a contender, right? And the way his contract is set up, we're going to have to be able to put him in a situation where he could make more money sooner, and that'll still be during Scoot's rookie deal. So that's that. You have Ayton, who he is. When he came out, I felt like he had the floor, if you will, of a David Robinson, meaning that he has said attributes that can really be impactful if he puts it together. I'm not saying he hasn't put it together, but that Phoenix situation held him back as far as touches is concerned. I don't necessarily know if there will be any difference, but he will also be someone that we have to audition while we allow for the young guys to grow. And Robert Williams has to do his thing, and I feel like him and Ayton on the floor at the same time wouldn't be bad. But what is 3 guards. At no point in time should Malcolm Brogdon, who we got back in the Drew Holiday trade, again, shout out Joe Cronin, he flipped Dame for Julius? Not Julius, I just said his name. Drew Holiday, excuse me. And flipped him for more picks and Malcolm Brogdon, who is injured. And, you know, typically what we bring back in trades or we draft because we could build that value up. But at no point in time should we have 3 guards. But in this game, you will see, if you have not already shown, 3 guards, right? But they did play Robert and Ayton together. I really appreciated that. I think we need to see what that looks like. I don't like Shaden at the 3. But the Clippers slash action in this game just made everybody look like turnstiles. Everybody's trying to figure out what to do. I wouldn't be too hard on Scoot being the lack thereof shooter right now. He's been in the NBA farm system, but he is not an NBA player in the sense of shooting the ball yet. But Shaden is coming along. Matisse is definitely somebody I feel like should have more minutes. And Malcolm Brogdon is definitely someone that will keep some sort of normalcy within production on the roster. But that's not saying a lot. And I hope you're not expecting a lot out this roster. I was thankful for Phoenix to contribute to Mari Kamani, for example, in this situation. I'd love to see him. But we are rebuilding. Remember, it's in you, not on you, ism.